From the combined crew of blindandroidusers.com and accessibleandroid.com, it's time for your favorite Android podcast. Kick back now and enjoy another fine episode from these fanboys and gals as they navigate Android from a blindness perspective. And now, here's your crew. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 251 of the Blind Android Users Podcast. We're recording today, September the 27th, 2025. I'm Warren Carr here in Washington. I do want to apologize in passing, though, that I'm not feeling too great today, so my voice is not what it used to be. Of course, I have my great friends here. We got
John Dyer from Virginia.
Karin Kiwan from Lebanon.
And it's Saya Kunduz from Turkey.
Welcome to episode 251. Welcome back, Sally. You were gone last week.
Yeah, I was gone last week, but I was missing you guys.
Yeah,
I
I
was
know
just
you are missing her more, but anyway,
no. Well,
that's behind the scenes discussion there.
behind the scene, it was all good. I mean, but it's always nice to be back to home and back to podcast. Everything's good here, and we are down to like 18 degrees here. It's getting colder. Autumn is in the corner. It's almost October, so that's expected. And how are you?
I'm doing okay. This week's been very tough. I got a cold, and Wednesday and Thursday I was just really miserable, but I'm feeling better. At least I don't have any headaches or anything of the sort, so I'm getting better. And we're kind of getting colder as well. I think right now it's 58 degrees out there, but so it's been dropping into the 40s in the mornings, but it warms up during the day into the 70s and all of that. So it's good. Karin girl, how about you?
I'm doing well. Everything is going well here, and the weather is okay. Actually, it's not hot and not cold. It's good, I think, for this time of year.
That means you're loving it, right?
Yeah, I prefer it to be a slightly cooler, but it's okay.
Yeah, take what you can get. John, you're just returning from game or on your way back from the game. How is it there with you guys in Virginia?
It's good. Yeah, we are on the way from a Sun's baseball game right now. So I'm coming to you from the car. We should be home in a few minutes, but yeah, my week was good. We were a little sick. I don't think we were as sick as you were, Warren, but a little under the weather. And the important thing is we got the chimney fixed, so I don't have to worry about that leaking issue.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was afraid for you last week, and I'm glad it got fixed. So did someone come out to fix it, or you had to do it yourself?
No, I couldn't do that myself. We had to hire somebody to go up north and replace. We replaced the whole chimney chase, the whole top of the chimney. We don't actually have a fireplace, so they just put like a permanent stainless steel cover over it.
Well, that's good. Well, if it's not being used, you might as well just do that and keep water out. Coming up in this episode, we have the Qualcomm Week. This is where we talk about everything new that Qualcomm is doing as they wrap up their summit there in Maui, Hawaii, which they do every fall. In our App of the Week series, we bring you Huxe or Huxe, whichever way you want to call it. And then to close today's episode, we have a tip of the week, and our friend Joe and Samantha bring us the Daily Listen by Google. That's what we have coming up in this episode. Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your Spotlight. We now move on to that spotlight segment or the in the news, whichever way you want to call it. And we're talking about that Qualcomm, the big guys out there providing all the new chips for the phones and all that. And so every year, Qualcomm does this summit in Maui, Hawaii, where they showcase their latest iteration of the Qualcomm chip. And we've got a couple this year, don't we, John and Karen and Sally? We've got the Series 5 or 8 Gen 5 series. We got the Elite and the regular 8 Gen 5. Is Qualcomm now kind of confusing us, or what's the deal with the 8 Gen 5 and 8 Gen 5 Elite or whatever? I don't think I'm even saying it right.
So as far as I know, the modem processor is just called the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5. They're not calling it Elite anymore. I think the Elite is I don't know about on the Windows side of things, like for laptops. I think they're calling those like the Elite Extreme or something now. I don't know. It's getting crazy over here. But at least on the Android side, as far as I know, it's just it's just Gen 5 now. So the Elite, even though it wasn't called Gen 4, we can count that as Gen 4.
Yeah, so you got the Elite and then you got the regular one. So some phones are coming out with those, and the Chinese phones are always the ones that jump on those. Of course, Samsung always does as well, but because theirs would come later on, usually the likes of Xiaomi or some of the Apple brands would be the ones to showcase that, or maybe OnePlus, and they'll be the ones that jump on it first and letting people know, hey, look at what we've got. Now, frankly, looking back on all of these things, you know how it used to be back then that everybody was using the Qualcomm chip, Google. So whether it was Google or Samsung, it was all the same Qualcomm chip and all of that, until, of course, Google branched out into the Tensor chip and all of that. For me, I think that it was a good thing that Google did what it did by going to the Tensor chip, and it now forces Qualcomm to do some of the things that we've always wanted. For example, we wanted longer support, like OS support, because the complaint back then was that, we don't have control over the Qualcomm chips. And so that's why we were only giving you guys 2 years of OS updates and all of that. And so when Google came out with the Tensor chip, especially with the 7 Pixel 7, was that when we started having the 7-year OS update. And now I think that's a good thing, because it has forced Qualcomm to rethink its position. And now looking at all the AI thing that we have, on device. And that's why I like the Google Tensor, making it possible for others to do the same thing. So it's a good thing. What do you guys think about Qualcomm's tech? Because now we're getting the same idea with all these chips that they have.
I mean, it did get us longer support, like you said. However, I think now that Google's taking care of that, they should go back to using Qualcomm chips. I just don't like the Tensor. I just don't.
I actually like the Tensor chip, to be honest, because, and here's why. I think it makes it possible for Google to keep things working fine together, because we always talk about Fruitvale and how, Fruitvale works seamlessly because the chip is from them. And so if you have your own chip, my argument is that you have a better control on how your things integrate with each other and work together. So I think I prefer Google working with its own chip.
Yeah, but if I'm paying the same price for the phones, the Google phones, I'm getting less capable chips and less capable devices. So that wouldn't make sense. I mean, yeah, it's good to try. It's good to do the tests they want, and to to showcase what they can improve, how can they integrate stuff together. But I think the end product isn't what people want, at least if you compare, and John already did it before. I mean, we don't need to check the benchmarks or anything. We just have the just simple test that John made when he was doing something with Audio Lab. He was rendering that video, and it was like easily. It was easily beaten by the Snapdragon Elite. So I don't think that if I'm paying the same price, I want to get something which can be compared to last year's. And now I can say that it's not last year because we have now the new chip, but it's just compared to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. But why to let the consumer get this?
Well, like I said, though, I think the whole problem is not necessarily because this one performs faster. Of course, it can. The Qualcomm chip will always perform faster, but with the Tensor, there's a better integration with the Google apps. You have a better experience, and this is something that people would disagree on. But for me, frankly, I prefer the whole thing coming from the same company, and this is what gives Apple the leg up, because everything is in-house, everything is together. And so if you're going to do something and you make things work at the OS level or make things work together seamlessly, it trumps everything, in my opinion, because you have a proper control over it. I mean, just look at the updates and all of that. There's an update, it's out there for the Pixel phones and all of that. And yet, if you're having someone else, it just takes a little while. And besides, if we have the same chip all over the place, it kind of becomes boring. And now, what do we want to get? What are we looking for? Are we looking for how the shape of the phone is?
Now.
So
yeah,
I kind of prefer Google staying with the Tensor chip than having the same Qualcomm chip, because then there's nothing different.
but you can't say it's that the getting updates every month is because they use their own chip, because the Pixel did that before, even when they used Snapdragon.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in general, though, because at least the software on Google is at least going alongside with what they have with their chip and all of that. But yeah, they used to do the updates as well, but then we didn't have that 7-year OS update, and now they did that, and now Qualcomm is doing the same thing. Okay, we want to be. My whole point is that with Google branching onto its own, it forces Qualcomm to do something better, which is actually better for the consumer when you look at it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but you shouldn't forget that we have also MediaTek, which is proving to be a competitor, and it's able to show a competitive results when you compare it to what you have from Qualcomm. So I think that MediaTek is also improving, and already many phones are using Qualcomm. Are using MediaTek processors, and also Samsung is going to show us the new Exynos chip. I think it will be with the S26 series. So also we'll see what they will offer.
Yeah, I actually bought a MediaTek device this past week, or a couple days ago, believe it or not.
What did you get?
Uh-huh.
John
boy.
It was the S11, the Tab S11.
The newly released one, you mean?
Yeah. The Samsung ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have it yet, but I ordered it. It should be here next week.
So listeners, stay tuned. We will have a review soon.
Exactly. So, but
Maybe.
you see that goes to buttress what I was talking about. It's good to have these different chips, because competition is really nice, because if you don't like what Google is doing with this Tensor chip, you could have a MediaTek device, a MediaTek powered device, or you could have an Exynos powered device or a Qualcomm powered device. So I really like where we are in Android. It would just be just overly boring if all we had was just one thing. Because you remember back then in those days, like I kept saying, the only thing that made the difference was the shape of the phone. Of course, they were all plastic. Anyone remember those days when we had all of that? The S4s, the S5s, and all of that. They were all running the same chip, whether you got the Google Nexus or whatever. They were all from the same um, yeah, Qualcomm chip. And the only differentiating thing was the shape of the phone or the type of the plastic that the phone was built from. And it kind of was looking boring, but I'm glad we have MediaTek there and we have the Exynos as well. Wasn't there another one though, like a Chinese one, but maybe for very, very low phones? What was that thing? Unisoc, right? Is that a chip from China, right, guys?
We got Unisoc and also Kirin for Huawei phones.
Yeah, so this is why I kind of like the land that we have, or the Android land that we have. There's no end in sight. So for me, different chips, the better it is. Talking about chips and phones and all of that, Xiaomi is in the mix, right? John and Karin, Xiaomi kind of is not wanting to be left behind. They came up with something new. And John, you want to talk about what's new? We got something new. We don't have a Xiaomi 16, but we got
Well,
something
I'll
new.
talk about why there is no 16. So apparently, and they've even admitted this, but Xiaomi has skipped 16 so that they can be in line with Apple's current version. So because the iPhone 17 came out, they wanted the Xiaomi 17 to be out the same year.
I think, John, that's why they made Pro Max model. Like
And
they didn't have something like that before, and I have Pro and Pro Max. I don't know what's
Yeah,
the deal with it.
even named them Pro and Pro Max now. And
Yeah.
my thinking is, if you're going to lie and skip a number, why not skip two numbers? Why not just say this is the 18 and then you'll
Yeah.
be ahead of Apple?
I don't think that was a good move. I mean, yeah, that's my opinion.
Well, for Xiaomi, though, they say they don't want people to think that they are behind Apple. If they have 16, it'll confuse people, giving the people the impression that Apple is ahead of them technologically.
Yep.
And so we want to be on the same page.
In that sense, is Samsung like 9 years ahead of those?
Yeah, exactly. Apple next year is not going to have an iPhone 18 just because of this, right? So Apple just lets everybody copy them. Like now, everybody's phones have flat sides because the iPhone had flat sides, and now rumor are next year Apple's going back to like rounded edges. So it's like they just wait for everybody to copy them, and then they go do something else.
Oh my goodness.
They're like
Yeah,
the cool kid at school. It's only cool until everybody starts doing it. Then you have to start a new trend.
but what I like about the Xiaomi phones, though, especially the 17 series, is that the battery is massive. And I think like the base model has like a 7,000 milliamp battery. And then the Pro, for some reason, is 6,300 milliamp. And then 7,500 for the Pro Max. I just don't understand it. I thought that the regular one and the Pro, the same size, 6.3
I
inch.
think the Pro one or one of them will not be internationally shipped. So this is what the rumors said. I was reading on the internet, but yeah, one of them is not going to be international.
So it will be the regular 7 that may not be international, or maybe the Pro Max, because if the Pro Max has 7,500, why wouldn't they let people have it internationally? I would love to have a phone with such a big battery.
Yeah, that's really, I don't know why, but yeah, maybe I'm mistaken, but this is what I was reading earlier today.
Yeah, and we should mention, since we were talking about processors earlier, these do have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5. I guess they're one of the first, if not the first, to have this chip.
Mhm.
And the Pro models have a screen on the back now. So it's where you would think of like the camera bar being. there's a screen now with the cameras cut out of it, similar to what you would find on like a flip phone, how they have a screen on the front with like the cameras cut out into the screen. So that's how it is on the back of these Pro phones now. And it's just a small screen, but you can use it for widgets and that sort of thing, similar to what you would use the front screen on a flip phone for. But whether or not that screen is accessible at all, I guess we'll have to wait and see. My bet would be no, but I'm pretty cynical when it comes to this stuff.
So the funny
So we
thing
will
is,
wait until John gets the phone and he will tell us.
I can't get it in my country,
Well,
unfortunately.
you probably could get it on the
Oh.
zone.
I mean, I can
No?
get it, but I want it to work on my carriers like fully. You know, like I don't
Well,
want to have to use.
I don't
4G.
think you guys gonna have it in the
No, I
US.
think it will still work on your carrier, though. I think Xiaomi probably covers most of the radios. I'm almost positive that it'll work on your carrier. It's just that you have to get it from the zone, Amazon. But the other thing that I like about it that I was reading is that you can actually use the screen on the back to even take a selfie using the rear camera. So
Interesting.
that's really interesting.
You know, that's not related to this, but I've seen people doing like mainstream videos of the Pixel, like non-accessibility related. Like people have been using guided frame to take selfies with their Pixel, with the main camera. Since they can't see the screen, they're just like turning it on and using it that way.
Oh, that's very nice, though.
I like that. It's a good sounding thing to me. Yeah. So you got the then we have the T series from Xiaomi, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
Xiaomi
where it was going.
is not.
What I was going to say. Like, you release 17, and in the same breath, you release 15T and 15T Pro. I mean, what's 15? What's 17?
Well,
Green's gonna tell us all
Yeah, but the
about
prices are different. I mean, they are cheaper, so
oh yeah, the prices are excellent.
Yeah, I would. I wouldn't buy Xiaomi again. I don't know, but I wouldn't buy Xiaomi again because they're really like aggressive with the battery saving and all the accessibility services that you're using. They are just disappearing over time, and this is not nice from Xiaomi. I mean, you got a big battery, but you're still being aggressive for the background services. Imagine you're using an accessibility service. It could be, say, TalkBack or anything else. After some time, you find yourself, you have no speech at all because it's disabled by Xiaomi to save battery.
Talking about prices, Karen, you want to talk about the prices? Because I know that even the Pro Max, it's not even like $900, right? It's like $800 something dollars. So just imagine that.
well, are you sure about that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what I
not.
was
It's
saying,
not. It's not
because
costly.
it's like $850 for the Pro Max. The regular one, regular 17 vanilla model, is like 600 and something, and it goes up there to $850. Now we're talking of the latest Qualcomm chip.
Well,
what
usually
kind of dollars are you
Xiaomi.
talking? Because it's not US dollars.
So the Pro Max is gonna be $720.
In what though? It's not even sold in the US.
No, it's not sold in the US, but
It's
that's
like
the
it's
equivalent.
euros. Sorry, euros.
Yeah,
It's euros.
the
Yeah,
equivalence in the US dollars is what we're talking about.
almost like it's gonna be $800 or something like that. So
Close enough. Yeah.
Well, according to GSM Arena, the price of the Pro is 600 euros, which is, I think it's great.
yeah, but still,
Yeah, that's about $650.
I'm not convinced. I don't know why. I'm not going for Xiaomi.
Well, for a person who is not blind, this won't be a problem. And also, have you tried it? I mean, have you tried a Xiaomi device, which is a high-end one? Maybe
Yeah,
they
my
do
friend-
this.
Yeah, my friend tried in 15 with a flagship one, and this is still going on. Like, they are killing the accessibility services.
Well, interesting.
But
Yeah.
would they be killing the screen reader though? I don't think they would be killing
Didn't
the
Ed
screen
have
reader,
one
would
and
they?
he said it had problems with the Braille keyboard? Was that a Xiaomi he was talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was Xiaomi 12 or something.
The
Yeah.
Xiaomi, yeah.
That's why I'm not getting it.
I'm not going to get that one. And also, for years and years, guys, we should be talking about is that what Xiaomi has a problem is the proximity sensor. Like from 10 to at least 15, it has issues. Like the proximity sensor when you're holding the phone in your ear, like you're touching a lot of places in the same time and you're having issues. Maybe you're dialing numbers or you're sending text messages to someone while you're on the call, and that proximity sensor issue is there for years, and I think it's gonna stay. Hope they fixed it for the 17 though.
Well, virtual proximity sensors don't work as you intended. So for that reason, Samsung also has issues. I mean, maybe not the same as Xiaomi, but usually when you have a proximity sensor which
But
is virtual, which is not really a
we-
proximity sensor.
We compared my 25 Plus and Xiaomi 15. The like critical issues of Xiaomi's proximity sensor is still going on, but in my case, Samsung is doing way better. He's doing a lot of unintentional touches while talking on the phone, and yeah, this is not nice from Xiaomi at all. I mean, the phones are okay, the prices are okay, but maybe something is, maybe we are sacrificing, and this is one of that, I guess.
But that boils down to what I was talking about earlier: software, software, software. Because if the software is not good, it doesn't matter what the quality of the phone is. It could be built of gold, but if you've got bad software, it's no bueno. Because I don't care how great the phone is, how powerful the chip is. It all boils down to software.
Exactly, Warren. This is what me and my dear brother Warren. We are handsome, but we also know, like, we have some knowledge too, right?
And this is why
Exactly.
most of us stay away from Pixels, because of the software.
Doggone you, John.
So we can't agree on that.
Seriously, so I think it's the software from Xiaomi that's not good. The phones
Yeah.
otherwise could be a great phone, but if you're not giving a great phone a great software, then in my never to be humble opinion, it's just nonsense.
Mhm. Well, in software wise, they've gone even worse with the HyperOS, and their aggression for the battery saving is like really a big deal. For those who want to run apps in the background, you always have troubles running them. Like no matter what you do, you're locking them in your taskbar in your recent apps, or you let them all the permissions. You grant all the permissions, but still nothing. At least that was the case until 15.
Interesting. You mentioned something about, if someone is on the phone call, for example, and you could hear touches and all of that. For me, though, when I'm on a phone, I don't know about you guys. I usually, switch my screen off. I don't know why people leave their screen off.
Yeah,
while they're
exactly.
on a phone call, but
maybe
it wouldn't be a problem.
I do that as well.
maybe they want to use the power button to end the call. So
Yeah,
that's the
true.
thing, I guess.
Oh yeah, I never,
That is an option.
that's the problem I had until I went and disabled that in Samsung phone when I tried using it as a regular phone. I kept hanging people off because
You would,
I'm trying
you
to
would
shut
answer
up
it and then hang it up immediately and
Oh,
start
damn.
talking and be like,
Yeah.
where are they?
Oh, I felt really stupid, and so I never liked using that power button to end calls. I just never liked that feature. I've never used it.
Yeah, I have on my Samsung phone, I use the volume up to answer the call, and then I don't have the power button set to end the call. So that way I can, like, when I do get a call, I just hit volume up and then I hit the power key to turn the screen off, and then I'm set.
Exactly. I don't like leaving my screen on while I'm on a phone call. I don't know why I do that, but I'd never left my screen on while I'm talking on the phone. Up next is the App of the Week segment. this is a segment dedicated to app demonstrations. Should you have an app that you would like to demonstrate for our listeners, feel free to send us the recording of such an app demo to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. And now for this week's episode, here's your app of the week. Chugging along now, we move on to our app of the week, and we're talking about the Huxe or Huxe. And it's an AI app that ex-Googlers brought us. The whole idea is to show you how it works on Android, even though it's not very accessible, but at least it's a little bit usable, but with some problems. Here is that demonstration now to show you where the pitfalls are and where some of the areas could still be used. Hi, Warren here for Blind Android Users Podcast. I'd like to first, though, apologize that I have a cold and I may be a little bit sniffly during this demonstration. For episode 251, App of the Week, I'm demonstrating an app I introduced to both our email and Telegram groups in the way of an app called Huxe or Huxe, Huxe, Hotel, Uniform, X-Ray, Edward. It's an AI app, but it's very interesting and I like it a lot. It's not very accessible, but with a little update, it's kind of more accessible than what it was when I first tried it out. For today's demonstration, I'll be utilizing my Galaxy S23 Plus, running One UI 7 and Android 16.x. I am on the home page, that is on the play page of Huxe or Huxe, whichever way you want to pronounce it. And now I'm going to move to the About, so we hear the description of the app and then come back and tap on that install. I'm starting afresh so that you'll see where there are problems and where there are not. I'll now tap on the About.
About this app. Heading. Google Play Store. Huxe. Details. Personalized audio intelligence. Turn anything into a podcast in seconds. Filled Circle Huxe is your personal audio companion, built to turn what you care about into beautifully generated interactive audio. Filled Circle, whether you're getting ready, commuting, walking the dog, or simply looking to unplug from screens, Huxe lets you listen to your world. What Huxe can do for you. Make a podcast from any topic. Filled Circle, just type what you're curious about, explain or LHF what's happening with TikTok and music labels, or tell me a story about Mars, and Huxe generates an interactive episode tailored to you. Start your day with a personalized audio briefing. Filled Circle Huxe pulls from your emails, calendar, and the latest news to create a smart, spoken overview of what matters, so you can get up to speed while you get ready, commute, or walk the dog. Steer the conversation as you listen. Filled Circle Huxe episodes are interactive. You can follow up, go deeper, or shift directions midstream. It's an audio experience that adapts to your curiosity. Follow trends, not noise. Filled Circle Huxe taps into trusted sources and real-time insights to synthesize what's worth knowing, not just what's going viral. App info. Version 1.1.5. Updated on September 23, 2025. Downloads. 10,000 plus downloads. Download size. 33.79 megabytes. Required OS. Android 7.0 and up. Offered by Huxe AI. Released on June 18, 2025.
And that's both the description of the app and its history. I do want to mention here in passing that this is coming from 3 ex-Google engineers that started the project Tailwind back in 2023, and that graduated into the Notebook LM, and those guys left in December of last year, 2024, and formed a startup called Huxe or Huxe AI. I do want to mention as well that at the moment, this app is only available for the UK and the US. I'll now go back though to the installation page and tap on that install, and let's get started.
Play Store. About this app. Heading.
And now I'll tap on install.
Install. But. Pending. Verified by Play Protect. Navigate up. Button. Huxe. 0%. 2%. 67%. 100%. Installing. Shortcut to Huxe added on home screen.
We are done with the installation, and I'll now tap on open.
Button. Open. Huxe. Audio intelligence.
First thing we heard was audio intelligence. Putting my finger in the middle,
Continue with Google.
you have either continue with Google
Log in.
or login. I already have an account that I created, one on my other phone and the other one that I simply use the login with Google. So if you like, you could create an account or you could log in with Google. So if you tap on,
Continue with Google.
it'll take you to where you could choose your Google account to log in with, or if you've created an account,
Log in.
you tap on login and that will take you to a page where you could enter your email address and log in. Now, if you haven't created an account, there's also create a new account. If you choose to create an account, it'll send you a verification code to the email address that you've provided. And then once you put in that email code that it sent you, then it'll ask you to create a password. For this demonstration, however, I'm going to simply tap on Continue with Google.
Continue with Google. 0% toolbar progress bar Chrome 0% sign in Google accounts web view.
We're now on the login page with Google.
Choose an account. Heading 1.
And here we have a choose an account. In other words, if you have more than one Google account, you choose the one that you would like to log in with.
To continue to Huxe AI button. Warren Carr use another account link.
And there's a use another account link. And below that,
Before using this app, you can review Huxe AI's collapsed English United States drop down list change language English United States. Help link. Privacy link. Terms link.
and that's the last item there. I'm going to tap on my username, that is my email address.
Warren Carr 0% toolbar progress bar Huxe. Live Today in AI, your essential 5-minute briefing on what happened in AI today, breakthroughs, funding, debates, and launches.
We're now in the main UI of the app, and as I indicated earlier, or on our email, the app is not very accessible. Thus, TalkBack is doing the heavy lifting here. I should have used my Pixel phone instead, because that probably would have given me better icon descriptions than what the Samsung phone is doing. However, I think it's still usable with the Samsung device. Now that we're in the main UI, there's nothing on the top left corner at the moment. On the right top corner, however, when you move your finger,
Unlabeled.
that's a menu
Detected
button.
icon menu.
Now, I do want to warn here that if you're a swiper and if you swipe from here, you will be landing right at the very bottom right corner, which would be the ad. In other words, you're going to be interacting with the button that will activate to add a URL or the topic that you're looking for. So there are lots of things between this button here and that button at the bottom right corner. And thus, it's not very good to swipe because you're going to be skipping over things. I will therefore instead explore by touch. Before we get to the items below here, though, let's tap on that menu and quickly see what we have. We're in that menu now, and putting my finger down,
Unlabeled. Detected icon close.
we have a close button on the top right corner, and moving on down,
Settings.
moving on down,
Account.
next,
Warren edit name and manage account.
next.
Connections. Manage email and calendar.
In other words, you could choose to make this fetch your email and calendar and stuff like that. So you tap here and let it have access to the stuff you want it to have access to.
Edit interests. Update your personalized interests.
Could tap here to choose the categories that you like, technology, etc., etc.
Audio.
Now we come to audio. In other words, you'll be choosing the voices that you'll be hearing. And we've got,
Hosts. Select hosts for your daily brief.
in other words, these are the voices of the people that you'll be choosing that will be presenting the item in a podcast style. And below that,
Language. Select desired podcast language.
and that's the last item. If you keep swiping, if you're a swiper and you keep swiping, it's going to wrap you up toward the top. So you don't want to swipe here. Instead, you just swipe left to go to the voices that you would select from.
Hosts. Select hosts for your daily brief.
And I'll tap.
Detected icon. Back.
We're sitting on the back button, and if you move your finger to the right or if you swipe, that would be the close button.
Unlabeled.
And that would be
Detected
close.
icon. Close.
Moving on down here, though, we'll come across the different voices, sample voices. By default, a couple of them are selected, a woman's voice and a man's voice. However, I haven't figured out how to play the sample voices, so you'll just check something and then you go listen to see what it sounds like, which is not good, which is part of the inaccessibility of the app. Here are the hosts.
Select 2 hosts to use throughout the app. Checked checkbox. Unlabeled.
That one is checked and it says unlabeled if you swipe right or move your finger right.
Unlabeled.
That would be the play
Detected
button.
icon. Play.
And if I tap, nothing happened. If you swipe right, however, it will tell you the name of the host.
Quill.
So Quill is checked. If you swipe again,
Checked checkbox. Unlabeled.
that's the next voice that is checked. And
Unlabeled.
to the right of that is the play button.
Detected icon. Play.
And again, if I tap, no dice. And of course, you move your finger right or swipe right,
Marlowe.
tells you the name of the person. Let's see the next one.
Not checked. Checkbox.
That one is not checked. Now, if I move my finger to the right or if you swipe right,
Unlabeled.
let's see if this would
Detected
play.
icon. Play.
No dice.
Lumen.
Let's go ahead and check it and
Unlabeled.
see what happens.
Not checked. Checkbox. Not checked.
When you tap it, it says not checked.
Unlabeled.
Anyway, so there are a bunch of voices here. And at the bottom, if you've chosen something, there's a save. And that's at the very bottom. And now that we're done here, though, let's go back to the menu eye. So we're currently seeing on that menu here on the top right corner. And I'll move my finger down. Below the menu, we find the logo and the text there that is not being read. However, below that is a button that will simply say unlabeled, but it is the play button, because if you leave your talkback focus there for a little while, that will say play button. Here's what I'm talking about.
Unlabeled.
And waiting.
Detected icon. Play.
Now, again, we're not swiping. You move your finger a little bit to the right and slightly below there.
Unlabeled.
That will be the refresh button. Now that we're sitting on the refresh button, if you swipe from here, from right to left,
Discover. Tab.
that will be the Discover tab. And by default, if you swipe again,
Selected. For you. Tab.
we are on the For You tab. Now, below here are live items. In other words, if I move my finger down,
Live stations.
we encounter live stations. And below that, you got things arranged in columns and rows. And these are things you could tap on to listen to.
Live. The Prompt Engineer. The emerging economy of AI whisperers. Prompt engineers making $300,000. Jailbreak markets. And the humans teaching machines to think.
So if you want to listen to that, you could tap on that and it'll just generate the podcast style like listening. And to the right of each of these is an unlabeled button, which when you tap on kind of shades that item. I don't know if that selects it or not.
Unlabeled.
And if I move my finger to the right,
Live Today in AI. Your essential 5-minute briefing on what happened in AI today. Breakthroughs, funding, debates, and launches.
so that's how that works. Now, toward the bottom, we've got some tabs. In other words, we've got 2 tabs at the very bottom. On the very bottom left, we've got
Tab. Detected icon. Home.
that is the home, which is by default we're sitting on. Now, to the right of that is the tab that is simply referred to as the person tab, something I would like to refer to as my stuff. Tapping on that, though, you will see a couple tabs at the top that will be the created and saved tabs. The created would be the ones that you've created from topics that interest you, and the saved tabs would be items that you tap on in the live section. Any item that is tapped from within the live section will be added to your saved tab. Let's go ahead though and tap on that person.
Tab. Detected icon person.
And I tap.
Selected. Page 2 of 2.
Now if I move my finger toward the top,
Capital W.
it says capital W, that's my name. I move
Warren.
right. And below that,
Selected. Created. Tab.
by default, I'm sitting on the created tab. To the right of that
Saved. Tab.
is the saved tab. That's all that we have. And then at the bottom, of course, you still have those two tabs. You got that home tab and also the person tab or your tab of your items. And of course, to the right of that will be
Unlabeled.
that add.
Detected icon. Add text plus.
I want to talk about the adding because when you tap on this, it doesn't activate. So you would have to use something like a pass-through, or now that it's sitting here on this icon, you could simply unload your screen reader and just tap there and it will activate it. I'm going to unload my TalkBack and show you what I'm talking about.
Talkback off.
I have tabbed there at the bottom right corner. Now I'm going to reload TalkBack.
Talkback on.
With TalkBack on, putting my finger near the top,
What do you want to create? Window Huxe.
it says, what do you want to create? And if you swipe right,
Live station real-time audio that updates with the latest info. Always fresh, always relevant.
so if that's what you want, you tap there and it will show you how you can add that, whether by URL or by whatever. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And I put my finger down.
What do you want to hear about? Edit box.
You could type in what you want to hear about, or
Enable web search.
this enable web search.
Search the internet for relevant sources.
Moving right.
On. Switch.
There's an on-off switch button there.
Sources.
And
It will always pull from these sources if you add a link. Add from URL X text RSS Reddit.
so you could add from either X or subreddit.
Add.
I'll tap on sources.
Sources. Select source you want to upload.
We have select the source you want to add, and if you move,
Add URL.
you could add a URL. In other words, if you tap here, you'll provide a URL, or
Add text.
you could add the text. Next.
Add X handle.
So the X handle, like on a Twitter, formerly Twitter. Next.
Add RSS feed.
RSS feed.
Add subreddit.
And that's the last item. Now be careful, because if you swipe here, you'll be moving to the top left corner. That would be the close button. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if you're a swiper and you swipe,
Unlabeled.
you're going to hear unlabeled.
Detected icon. Close. Text
And
X.
that would be the close button there on the top left. So I'm going to tap to close out of this window, or I'll simply go back.
Sources.
Now we're going to go back again.
What do you want to create?
So we're back on what do you want to create. The last one that we looked at was
Live station real-time audio that updates with the latest info. Always fresh, always relevant.
this time. However, I want to go to,
Deepcast custom podcasts on any topic. Just tell us what you want to explore.
so we got a deep cast. In other words, just tell it the topic and it'll do that research for you and provide it to you in a podcast format. I'll tap here.
Deepcast custom podcasts on any topic. Just tell us what you want to explore. What do you want to hear about?
We're on the next window, and if we move down,
Spin up a personalized interactive audio experience on any topic.
moving down,
E.g., the future in AI music 3 period. Edit box.
and here's our edit box. I'm going to tap here to activate the field.
E.g., the future in AI music. Showing English, US, QWERTY.
Now I'm going to dictate accessible apps for the blind and see what it generates.
Use voice typing.
accessible apps for the blind.
Voice input stopped.
Voice input has stopped, and I'm going to check to be sure that I have what I asked for in the edit field.
Editing. Accessible apps for the blind. Edit box, e.g., the future in AI music.
There's my accessible apps for the blind. That's what I just typed in, and now what we need to tap on is the generate button. There's a generate button there on the top right part of the keyboard, just above the keyboard. However, if you're exploring, it's not going to speak. If you hide the keyboard or if you simply swipe, you're going to land on that generate, but you'll see other items before you get to it. And so if you like, you could just swipe till you hear generate, or if you like, you could hide the keyboard and swipe till you hear generate. And that generate with the keyboard hidden would be at the very bottom part of the phone. I'm not going to hide the keyboard. I'm going to swipe right so you hear what I'm talking about. So now swipe right.
What's new in AI? Eli 5 what RLHF is. Help me get over my fear of public speaking. Generate.
There is our generate. I'll tap here to generate. It takes a little bit of time to generate, and give it time to generate. So you need to be a little bit patient while it generates. I'm still waiting for the generation to come through.
Create capital W. Page 1 of 2. Keyboard hidden.
It has finished that generation, and I'm going to put my finger toward the top in the middle of the phone.
Selected. Created. Tab.
So we're by default in the created because I created one, and to the right of that,
Save.
you have
Tab.
the save tab, and if you move down,
Deepcast AI's vision, empowering the blind with smart tech, exploring the latest AI-powered apps and devices, revolutionizing independence for visually impaired individuals.
there's what I just created. Now to play it, I simply tap.
AI's vision, empowering the blind with smart tech.
I'm going to let it play for like a couple of minutes, and I'll stop the playback.
You're tuned in to AI's vision, empowering the blind with smart tech.
Today, we're exploring the latest AI-powered apps and devices that are revolutionizing independence for visually impaired individuals.
We're just about ready to kick things off, so hang tight while we get everything set up for you.
Stick around. Your episode will begin in just a few moments. I was speaking with a user recently, someone who is totally blind. She was telling me about looking at old family photographs, something she hadn't been able to truly experience for years. But this time, she pointed her phone at a photo and a voice began describing it. Not just a man and a woman, but the details, the style of their clothes, the expressions on their faces, the setting. She told me, I felt as if I had a little personal assistant in my pocket, ready to describe anything that crossed our path. It was like she was rediscovering the world.
For most of us, AI is an abstract concept. It's chatbots, it's algorithms suggesting what we should buy or watch next. But for a growing number of people, it's becoming something much more fundamental. It's becoming their eyes. Today,
I'm gonna
we're
stop here
exploring
because
that
I don't want to
revolution,
get in trouble
how
with Google.
artificial intelligence is offering a new level of independence to the blind and low-vision community. I'm joined by a reporter who has been covering the intersection of technology and accessibility.
A
At the
suite of
bottom
new
right
tools,
corner
powered by the
is-
same AI technology that dominates
is the
headlines,
pause
is starting to
button.
fundamentally change the
And
daily
it
reality
doesn't
for
seem to
millions of
activate.
visually impaired
I'll turn
individuals
off
around the
talkback
world.
and tap on
Today, we're exploring that revolution, how artificial
that. So I tapped on that and it just silenced it.
Talkback on.
For some reason, my talkback went back to the phone screen instead of on here on the patch. So, but if I put my finger down, you can read the text.
I was speaking with a user recently, someone who is totally blind. She was telling me about looking at old family photographs, something
So if I move
for
down-
most of us AI is an abstract concept. It's chatbots, it's algorithms suggesting what we should buy or watch next. But for a growing
I just put my finger down to stop it. Now, if you move your finger down,
unlabeled,
you'll find
Detected
play
icon. Play.
at the very bottom of the phone, in the middle section of the phone. And that would conclude this quick demonstration of Huxe or Huxe. I just don't feel too great, guys, so I'm not doing a lot with this demonstration today, but at least you have an idea of how it works. It's not very accessible, but it's usable. Thanks for listening, and if you like what we're doing, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and as always, if you have an app that you'd like to demonstrate for our listeners, please feel free to send us such a demonstration, and we'll integrate it in our podcast episode. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Well, guys, that's the demonstration there. What are your comments? John, what do you think of Huxe or Huxe? I don't know how you call that. Huxe? Huxe?
Accessibility of the app aside, because I wasn't impressed with it. I know you said it's come a long way, but I think it's a neat app, as long as you don't take it too seriously. I just worry about people thinking they're actually learning like 100% true facts from apps like this. I mean, you have no idea where it's getting this information and how accurate it is, but for entertainment purposes, it's pretty cool.
I agree with you. I think the keyword here is entertainment. It's very entertaining, and especially when you use that deep cast that I demonstrated in there.
And there's an important thing here, which is the guys were working at Google before. So they brought with them the Google strategy on accessibility. So actually Google releases an app which has all sorts of accessibility issues, and they start fixing things. And they did the same. So actually, I think that this doctrine of Google is just working well for them. So yeah, I hope that with time they will be releasing a better accessible version. As you said, they just improved. So I hope that they will keep it up, and maybe you could contact them as well, and we try to tell them more about the accessibility issues.
You're correct, Karen, because it kind of baffles the mind that this is an app coming from ex-Googlers. And this is not the only app that has this type of problems. There was an email app that was from an ex-Googler, and I was in touch with them. Oh, yeah, we're going to fix that. They were even going to come on our podcast. They haven't done diddly squat. Sometimes it makes me feel like Google is like the old Roman Empire, to where it grew so large to where some of the provinces didn't even know that they belonged to Rome. And so it's just amazing that something from Google would lack accessibility. It's just like they never heard of the word accessibility. Coming up is our Tip of the Week segment. This is a segment where we show you a trick or two on how to use a certain feature on your phone or in a given app. If you have a tip that you would like to share with our listeners, feel free to send us such a tip to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. And now for this week's episode, here's your Tip of the Week. Moving along now to close today's episode, we bring you the tip of the week, and from our friends Joe and Sam. Joe talks about a daily listen from Google. Here's the two young couple to talk about the daily listen.
So I haven't heard this being covered at all on the podcast before, so I thought I'd do a quick demo of this. So a little caveat, you have to enable this right now in the Google Now or the Google app, if you will. So I'm using a Pixel. So on mine, the Google app is on the bottom. So if you just move your finger till you hear Google app, double tap, and then on the top left will be a option for labs, and you go into labs and you will turn on daily briefing. Now, I was on a wait list for quite some time for this. But basically what this does is when you then go into Google app, like once you get it approved, you go into the Google app, you're going to see a heading that says made for you. And it will have usually like 3 stories. This one kind of looks small, so it might only have one. So let me just look at it.
Made for you. Daily listen. Number 1 basketball recruit here in Stokes to visit Oregon this weekend. Duration is 5 minutes 45
So
seconds.
it's telling me about a basketball player who's going to visit Oregon. So if I double tap on this, what we're going to get is AI reading us the news. So I'm going to, and it usually tailors to stuff that you read in Google. So if you like things, if you follow certain teams, it usually will stick to that formula. So usually with mine, I get like 1 or 2 sports things and then an electronics thing. And it's pretty cool. Like I actually enjoy using this. And this can be used anywhere that the Google app is. So you can use this on Android or iOS for that matter. So I'm going to double tap on this.
Google. Welcome to your Daily Listen.
We're your AI hosts, bringing you stories from across the web.
We've got a lot of stories to tell, so let's get started.
Let's start with the first story.
Our first story takes us to the world of college basketball recruiting, where there is some...
So I'm going to just explore the screen for a second here. So there is a pause button that I found like in the very middle of the screen. And if I swipe left here...
Skip backward 10 seconds.
We have skip back 10 seconds. If I swipe left again...
1.5x.
So that's 1.5x. So you can slow it down, speed it up. I think it goes to 2x, and then you can have it be like at 0.5x. So I'm going to swipe back right.
Skip backward. Play.
So, and then if I swipe right again,
skip to next topic.
It's the next topic. So if I didn't like this topic, I could skip it and go to the next one. I'm going to go back and play for a second.
Big news this weekend concerning Tyron Stokes. He is visiting Oregon.
That's right. The #1 overall recruit for 2026. Huge potential.
Yeah, definitely. He's a 6'7" small forward, correct?
Yep, 230 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, some reports are already projecting him as a potential #1 NBA pick down the line.
Wow. And it sounds like Oregon's pulling out all the stops. I heard even the football program's success is like hard. Our next story takes us to a significant discount on the Apple iPad Mini 7. It's seeing a pretty substantial price drop right now.
Yeah, I saw that. The 128 gig Wi-Fi model specifically is down $100 over at Amazon.
Right, bringing it to $399. That's quite a decent markdown.
It is. And, it seems like that discount isn't just for the entry-level storage.
Oh, really? Which other ones?
Well, reports suggest it applies to several of the Wi-Fi configurations. So the 256 gig and even the 512 gig models are seeing that same $100 off.
Okay, so across the Wi-Fi bird, basically. That's good to know.
Exactly. And remember, this is the newer Mini 7, so it's packing the A17 Pro chip now.
Right, the A17 Pro. And that also means it gets Apple Intelligence features, correct?
That's the one. So quite a bit of power in that small package.
Yeah, definitely a power bump internally. But externally, it's still that familiar, super portable design, isn't it?
Absolutely. Still got the 8.3-inch liquid retina display, and it's incredibly light. What is it, like 0.65 pounds?
Just about, yeah. Really easy to handle.
And I think that size, that compact form factor, is a big part of its appeal. Some experts suggest it's actually a preferred device for reading.
Compared to the bigger tablets, you mean, like the 11-inch ones?
Exactly. Less unwieldy.
Yeah.
Easier to hold for longer periods if you're just reading an ebook or articles.
Makes sense. And what about battery life? Has that held up with the new chip?
It seems so. Some sources are still claiming that all-day battery life standard,
which usually translates to, what, about 10 hours or so?
Yeah, roughly 10 hours of, like, continuous video streaming or web surfing. So pretty solid for its size.
Okay, so a powerful portable tablet with solid battery, now $100 cheaper on the Wi-Fi models. Sounds like a pretty good time to pick one up if you've been considering it.
Definitely seems that way, especially with the A17 Pro and Apple Intelligence now included.
Our final story takes us to the Indiana Fever. They actually won their playoff series against Atlanta Dream.
Yeah, 2-1. Pretty impressive result.
So as you can tell here, it just goes and gives you 3 stories every day. It gets usually refreshed in the morning when you wake up, and you can listen to these. I think you can even see so if I swipe right from
skip to
next story,
mute.
You can mute.
Related stories. Tyron Stokes, the #1 Oregon Ducks hosting nation's #1 basketball.
There's kind of some related stories here that it pulls from the web that relate to the thing that it told you about. So if you wanted to dive deeper into the Tyron Stokes thing, and it also has links for other articles about like the iPad Mini and et cetera that you heard. So I think it's a pretty cool. I don't know. I really enjoy this actually, probably more than I should. I just think it's one of those cool things. I think that's going to get better over time and just become more and more tailored to stuff I like. So again, if you want this, you have to go into the Google app and then go to Labs and then look for Daily Briefing. Hope you enjoy. Take care.
Well, thank you so much, Joe. Outside of the joke there at the beginning, though, of course, Joe likes his Sam. John, what do you have to say about Joe and Sam? Isn't that a nice couple?
Yeah. Joe and Sam sitting in the tree. AISSING. No, I
beautiful picture.
See, I'm a little sad because how he feels about Sam is how I feel about voice 6 of Google TTS. It's just my voice that I always use, but unfortunately my voice doesn't have a name, so I'm a little sad about that.
How about you give it your own name, John? Wouldn't it be nice you refer to her with a given name so it kind of stays with you? Guys, could you think of a name that would be most appropriate for voice variant 6? I know you like Jenny, John, on the Microsoft Voices.
Yeah, I do like Jenny.
Yeah, so Katie, would Katie work
I don't know.
for voice number 6? No?
I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it right. So
No, I guess it's gonna be Emily.
Emily.
Oh, you like Emily? Well, John, you like the sound of Emily?
Sure.
Okay, good.
Unofficially Emily.
No, it should be Jules.
Hey, you know, that's
Yeah.
what people call my wife, Jules. Because it's Julia. And
John
they
and
just call her
Jules. It will be cool.
Well, I'll take Jules. I mean, Emily sounds good too, but Jules even sounds better. John, you're the one that gives the final say here.
I don't know. It's too much pressure.
Too much pressure, huh? Well, we'll just let it be what it is then, right?
Voice number 6.
Voice 6. All good things must end. Thus, it's curtain drawing time, bringing us to the close of this week's episode. Coming up, though, we give you information on how to get hold of us. Well, friends, with voice number 6, we come to the end of this week's episode. John is standing by to give you information on how you can contact us using that voice number 6. Here's John now to give you that information on how to get hold of us. John?
To contact us, simply send an email to contactus@blindandroidusers.com. If you'd prefer, you can leave a voicemail by calling +1 307 202 9797. You can join our mailing list by sending a blank email to Blind Android Users plus subscribe @groups.io. You can join our Facebook and Telegram groups or subscribe to our YouTube channel using the links in the podcast show notes or YouTube video description. And you can find all of this information and more at our website, blindandroidusers.com.
Thank you so much, John. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode, guys. We thank you so much for tuning in every week. From me, though, I want to say have a great week and keep the home fires burning.
Have a great week. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. Have a great week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Blind Android Users Podcast. Until we see you next week, don't forget to leave us your comments and suggestions via our email contact or using any of our social media sites. Have a great week.